Hi, this is Bethany from Morgan James Publishing, and today I have the pleasure of speaking with our author, Leesa Ward. And Leesa is the author of a very powerful book called Get Over Being Humiliated: How to Conquer the World Even If You Feel Rejected. Wow. Hi, Leesa. Thank you so much
Hi,
for being
Bethany.
here with me today. How are you
Thank
doing
you.
today?
I'm doing well. I'm doing well. Thank you for taking the time and Morgan James for bringing this book to life because it
Um,
is an important message
It's
that
such a
isn't talked about.
privilege. Yeah, it is an important topic and it isn't talked about often. I think a lot of people have faced moments of humiliation or rejection in their personal or professional lives that maybe
Yeah.
leave them in a spot of darkness or isolation that they're really struggling to work through. And I know that this book shares a lot of more in-depth background as far as who you are and what drove you to write this book. But I know you dealt with a lot of, perhaps humiliation and really challenging times professionally that caused you to really dive deep into this topic. So, could you talk a little bit about humiliation and why it's something that's so hard for people to work through?
Right. It is something that we try to conceal. Obviously, we're humiliated. Whether it's a circumstance or an event that happened to you, or you did something and regret, and there's remorse, and there's the shame. That is really a hard topic.
Mhm.
Um, and a lot of people don't talk about it because obviously we're trying to conceal whatever we're ashamed of. So it's a lonely and silent journey,
Mhm.
and I don't feel like there's enough resources, or people aren't uh, brave enough to talk because they don't feel safe enough.
Mhm.
So I thought this was a perfect opportunity for to open up the dialogue
Mhm.
and to let others know that there is people out there that are going through the same thing. You know, I went through it. I gave up 10 years of my life just trying to get over feeling like a loser. It affects so many things. It affects your relationships. It affects your children, how you show up for the world, whether or not you can continue to work. It's just other issues come up just to kind of camouflage or null that pain.
Mhm.
Alcohol, drug abuse. So just personally going through that, and then just working with people and seeing the transformation that comes when so many people feel like their life is over because of this one event. They've lost their identity. They've lost who they thought who they were.
Mhm.
Um, and they feel like, the past is all that defines them. And so it's really important to know that there is a lot of work that you have to go through, a lot of digging deep. It's not just a matter of like reciting affirmations, because it is, you've got to dig through it before you can start building back up. And so it is a lot of personal work. But I thought the book was important because it is something that a lot of people don't want to admit or talk about. So knowing that there's others out there and there's help and there's a program that you can participate with and have a community, a safe container to share and grow and heal with plans and specific steps, is really, really, really important, because your whole life is, revolves around your identity and how you feel about yourself.
Yeah. A lot of people are wrapped up in an identity that might not be who they are. Maybe that's a title that they have or
Right.
a role that they play. And I think you hit on so many important on so many important things there, because when somebody is facing something like deep humiliation, there is that feeling of isolation,
Mhm.
and people aren't talking about it, so you feel alone in that
Very.
struggle. And what you've done by providing this resource, this book is really such a gift, to anybody who may be dealing with a situation like that in their lives. So, could you talk a little bit about really who you wrote this book for, and what can they expect to get out of the book itself?
Right. They can expect to see a light at the end of the tunnel, you know? It's hard to try to move through something on your own when you're just regurgitating your own beliefs and self-sabotaging and your own negative thoughts. It's hard to move on. So what they can expect is a roadmap, a tool to help them see hope. It's basically a book of hope, and just showing examples and circumstances and things that you can do to move past where you are and know that there is a future. And a lot of times, I mean, it's surprising myself. I was surprised myself, and just seeing the transformation with other people, even, you know, older wisdom, professional psychiatrists, going through and working. There's a lot of surprises. There's a lot of learning about yourself
Mm.
going through that. And a lot, and I know for me, when I didn't even want to live anymore, it has been the biggest blessing. It has really been the worst thing is the best thing that's happened to me. And so, and I really, really believe everything happens for a reason. I really honestly believe that. So it's more than just, my story. It's more, I do go into that in the book, but it really, I want to concentrate on where the reader's at.
Mm. Well, thank you so much for sharing that. And I think it is so important and powerful that you share your story in the book. But as you mentioned, it's more than that. It's a roadmap. It's a light at the end of the tunnel, for anyone who might be feeling like you have been too humiliated in your life to move forward. That's not the case. There are solutions in this book, and I guess if you were to sum it all up. If you're thinking about someone who might be in that situation, what is one goal or like wish or dream, come true, that you would really want for that reader as they go through the process of diving into your story and reading, all of the wisdom that you have to share?
I think the most important thing is to know that you're not alone. Is you're not alone, and there are resources. I love to go through exactly what, I mean, everybody's situation is a little bit different. Everybody's circumstance is different. But the one thing is knowing that there is hope, and that um, by going through this work that I've kind of outlined, you can little by little, slowly but surely heal from your past mistakes and your past um, regrets.
And I think you also hit on something earlier as well that's important, because it does take a willingness to do the work of
That's true.
revisiting the situation, or going back and figuring out what went wrong or what happened or how you would do things differently, in order to work it into your story in a way that you can move forward,
Right.
in health. And I think that it's really important what you said, that it does take work, but thankfully you've gone through this process personally, and you've done that work, and you have found a
Yes.
path to moving through that, and you have been able to, um, not only just accomplish that, but also write and share your story and have the book published, so that you can help other people through it as well. And I think that's such a beautiful thing that you've done to take the lessons and the experience that you have and not only learn from it yourself, but be willing to share it for others to learn from
Mhm.
as well, because you've been there and you understand how devastating that can be, and to be able to help others through your experiences, I think is so beautiful and so appreciated,
Mhm.
by us at Morgan James, but also I know readers as they begin to get their hands on this book, and they feel like they are not alone anymore is going to be so powerful. So Leesa, thank you so much for sharing with me today. Um, what you hope readers get out of this book and what prompted you to write it. I know we're so excited to see this book available to readers, and so appreciative of you and your story.
Thank you so much, Bethany. It's my pleasure, my honor.
Thank
Thank
you again for joining me today. I know there may be people that they want to connect with you. They might want to learn more about you, or maybe reach out to you for guidance or advice. What's the best way for somebody to reach you online?
I love that. My email, my personal email is Leesa, Leesa dot TLC, like tender loving care, at gmail.com.
Amazing. Amazing. All right. Well, thank you again, Leesa, and congratulations on your new book.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I'm so excited to be part of the family. I'm honored. Thank you.
We love to have you.
Thank you.
Bye.